Everyone's favorite big-titted science teacher is in trouble, facing a potential lawsuit, not personally, but the school. And if that happens, the individual Kayla Lemieux who wants to wear the big Z-cup breasts will not be allowed to do it. In the wake of this news about the attorneys speaking out on potential legal action, the Canadian school district is going to implement a dress code after shop teachers sparked outrage by wearing massive fake breasts. Doesn't it feel like everything is just coming crashing down? This is, my friends, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I saw a funny post where they were like, I can't remember who tweeted it. They said Chat GPT, the chat AI bot, won't let you, if you ask it to write a story about why Drag Queen Story Hour is bad, it says, I cannot write that because Drag Queen Story Hour is good. And then if you ask it to write about why it's good, it'll say, it promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion and allows people to blah, blah, blah. It's all falling apart, man. This is their diversity, equity, and inclusion. A shop teacher, did I say science teacher? A shop teacher wearing big Z-cup fake breasts to school. Okay. I'll tell you where I think the end result of all of this is. We're going to be living in the pods, eating the bugs, plugged into the matrix. And there's going to be like, you're going to go into your virtual metaverse meeting. And you're going to be sitting there, you as like some normal dude, your avatar will have a button-up shirt and a tie. And you'll be sitting there being like, what's this meeting about? When a carrot will walk in. And the carrot will sit down. And the carrot will be like, all right, everybody, let's get serious here. We got a very serious meeting. And then you're going to look over and the rabbit is going to be staring at the carrot. And the rabbit guy is going to be like, now, Jim, hold on there. Sales figures are not as bad as they projected to be if you incorporate the Eastern regional numbers. And then you're going to look over and in's going to come in Shrek. And Shrek's going to sit down and Shrek's going to be like, I'm actually fairly optimistic when you look at the East Coast numbers. And you're going to be sitting there being like, what is this? That's where we're going. When everybody chases after whatever identity they want, whatever, you're going to be plugged into the metaverse, and it's not going to be the way Mark Zuckerberg imagines it, where you've got everybody sitting there laughing, and they have no legs. I'm not kidding. Like in the metaverse, you have no legs. And they all look like just avatars of people. It's going to be like Godzilla sitting next to King Kong, and they're going to be arguing over which basketball player has the better prospects of getting drafted. And you're going to be like, I don't know what reality is anymore. In the meantime, it's affecting the physical world. From Fox News, parents at Oakville Trafalgar High School in Canada are considering pursuing legal action to stop transgender teacher Kayla Lemieux from wearing Z-cup prosthetic breasts to class. Rishi Bandhu, an attorney and parent of a child at the school, spoke out about the issue, saying teachers should be required to adhere to the same dress code as students. The dress code for students says you can't show your nipples, in which case Kayla Lemieux will be able to wear the massive fake breasts, but you got to put something over the nipples so you can't see them. Bantu said parents asked the Halton District School Board to apply the same dress code for students to teachers, explicitly state any exceptions to the code, and allow parents to discuss the matter at school council meetings. He added the school board has interfered with the rights of parents by reportedly denying them the opportunity to bring up the issues at meetings. In our view, it's just illogical and absurd to suggest that the teachers would be held to a lower standard than the students in terms of their attire. That's your argument? Yeah, because they're in Canada. It's in Canada, right? This is a Canadian teacher? Yeah, in Canada. Bro, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You live in a psychotic, woke dictatorship. You cannot question this. You must accept it. Welcome to your new life. At the very least, the school district will implement a dress code, so it seems like the argument worked. Those big old nipples better get covered up, Kayla. The new professionalism policy, which includes a dress code, must be made and implemented by March. Timcast.com reports the dress code for students prohibits clothing that exposes or makes visible genitals and nipples, but did not apply to the staff in school. According to a report from the Star, the controversy sparked protests outside the school and even bomb threats after photos appeared online in September showing the trans teacher in class. These are not prosthetics, okay? These are kink toys. This is kink stuff. What they're doing in school is not sex ed. They're not affirming anybody. It's kink. That's what's happening to these kids. The end result, in my opinion, it all just falls apart. It all crumbles down. This idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion is not people of all different backgrounds holding hands, swinging back and forth, and singing Kumbaya. It is the weirdest crackpot nonsense, like I described. The carrot and the rabbit arguing over sales projections in your metaverse. And then just imagine this. I talk about Godzilla and King Kong arguing over who's going to get drafted. And it's like behind those avatars, it's like a regular person. But you take a look at this Kayla Lemieux story, and it ain't going to be a carrot and a rabbit. There's going to be like what was the name of the woman with the red in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Whatever her name is. She's like, people are going to have avatars of her. People are going to have duplicate avatars. You're going to be sitting in a meeting at one point, and there's going to be like 3 women with breasts so big they can't see over them because that's what people want to identify as. And you're going to be like, they all look the same. People are going to share avatars. It's going to be bonkers nonsense. That's where we're going. The system, we are not heading towards a legitimate system of holding hands under the sun. We're heading towards static chaos. You ever look at like a TV when there's no signal and it's just static random numbers? That's how you generate true random. Random number generators actually aren't random because there's a code to simulate randomness, but static actually is random. I was reading about how we can actually get a real random number generator using static, and there you go. That's my point. I want you to imagine that. The chaos and absurdity, and that's where we're headed towards. Chaos isn't always bad. When I play Magic the Gathering, I'm a big fan of chaos. It's fun. It adds that zest and spice to life, but you need order to be maintained so that we can survive. So my view is that chaos needs to be slightly below order. More chaos means more fun and more excitement, but order means higher likelihood of survival and progression. What we are headed towards now, chaos has taken over. There is more chaos than order, and thus the system is inching towards breaking apart. An ordered system is, say, like steel beams holding up a platform. A chaotic system is those beams placed randomly, and then the structure just crumbles because it's not properly supported. I think that's where we're going. Kids are going to grow up around this stuff, and they are. You and your friends who refuse to speak up, I'm not saying, I don't mean everybody, but the people who don't speak up, you are helping create this world and this universe by not doing so. And thus, as time goes on, don't be surprised when you're 50 years old and you're looking around and you're just like, I don't know what is anymore. Worse still, don't be surprised if you're 50 and you're sitting in the rubble of society, eating an old can of beans, saying to yourself like, man, remember when we had eggs? Remember when we had food? Yeah. It's a completely unrelated story, but egg prices are nearly $9 amid bird flu outbreak. I know it has nothing to do with the big titty teacher, but my point is it's all falling apart, man. I know you can't blame the big titty teacher for the bird flu outbreak. My point is we built this beautiful system and it supported too many people, to be completely honest. We had food for everybody here. Now, because of our penchant for freedom, we have entertained the illiberal, the intolerant, the chaotic, and the destructive. And that's actually burning the system to the ground. Not too different from a cancer, or a virus, a woke mind virus, eating and gutting and destroying the cells. And that's really what I think is happening with the woke mind virus. What's happening is the idea gets planted in an institution, starts converting that institution to produce more of the woke mind virus, and then instead of producing something meritocratic and valuable, it produces more woke garbage, which eventually destroys the system that it has infected. Maybe it serves a purpose. Maybe it is the hardship that will lead to some kind of social Darwinism. I don't mean social Darwinism in terms of people dying. I mean social cultural Darwinism, that bad ideas that cannot defend themselves must be destroyed, and thus stronger institutions will emerge from the ashes. The worrying thing is that I feel like the end result of all of that is going to be dictatorial, and I'd like to just live in a classically liberal world where we tolerate people who have a penchant for the uncommon, but we recognize the order necessary to progress and survive. It doesn't seem to be the way we are going. Instead, you got big-tittied teachers arguing for their human rights to wear big titties in school. Okay, well, the direction we're heading in is collapse. I think humans will survive. I don't think it's the apocalypse. I think bad things will come, and we're seeing it. $9 eggs. I know, bird flu. But it's not just about that. It's about inflation. The system is struggling to maintain itself. The end result, have fun. I recommend getting a homestead, buying some goats, cows, and chickens or whatever. You know, we want to get a cow, but we were told that it produces like 10 to 12 gallons of milk per day. And it's just like, what? That's too much milk. That's way too much milk. I wouldn't mind drinking fresh raw milk from a cow. That sounds fantastic. Maybe we'll get some little goats. I'm told the fat content of the goats is a lot better. But we do have a lot of chickens. And not only are chickens a source of food and protein, but they're hilarious. So get back to your roots. Get your kids away from the big titty teachers. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and we'll see you all shortly.